Nevada voters head to caucus sites Saturday in what will be the first chance for the West and a diverse electorate to weigh in on the presidential race.
After a fiery debate, during which candidates' attacks on each other made clear a splintering Democratic field, results out of the Silver State have the possibility to maintain momentum for the front-runners or save campaigns that emerged from Iowa and New Hampshire with lackluster results.
The disastrous process seen in Iowa brought into question the effectiveness of the caucus itself. Unlike Iowa, Nevada, for the first time, offered 3 days of early voting in an effort to make the caucuses more accessible. The number of Nevadans who have turned out so far has nearly surpassed 2016's total turnout.
More than half of those early voters were first-time caucus goers, the party said, a testament to the increased enthusiasm in the third official contest of the primary season.
The Nevada Democratic Party has worked around the clock not only to improve the caucus itself, but also to improve the image and fear surrounding the caucuses. ABC News confirmed that the Nevada Democratic Party, in an effort to prevent information about the caucuses from becoming public, asked unpaid volunteers to sign non-disclosure agreements, barring volunteers from sharing confidential information, according to the NDAs, which were obtained by ABC News.
Seth Morrison was slated to be a site lead in Las Vegas until he was asked to sign the agreement, at which point he decided to stop volunteering.
The document is very, very broad, Morrison told ABC News. And it says, among other things, that you can't defame the party.
The NDAs include the following: if I am a volunteer and answering phones at the NSDP office or volunteering at an official NSDP event, I am a representative of the NSDP and am not authorized to speak to the press unless given express permission by the executive director or communications director.
With the attention focused on Nevada politics, the agreement continues, it is possible that I will encounter reporters while working for or volunteering in an official capacity for the NSDP. If I am contacted by a reporter, I must immediately refer him or her to the communications director or executive director at the Las Vegas headquarters. There are no exceptions.
According to a state party official, it is standard operating practice to ask site leaders or recruited volunteers who run the caucuses to sign NDAs, although the state party official could not confirm that every site lead had been asked to sign one.
According to one 2016 site lead, there was no talk of such agreements 4 years ago.
This is something new, Tom Cardoza, now chair of the Lander County Democrats, said.
With fears about the accuracy of the caucuses looming, Saturday's showing will be a test of the party's damage control techniques implemented after Iowa. Among the 4 early states, South Carolina is the only one left between the campaigns and Super Tuesday, and momentum out of Nevada has the potential to reignite a campaign or cement a candidate's standing outside of the top tier.
Within the feud of moderates versus progressives, the candidates have honed their pitches on who can beat President Donald Trump in November. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren took a veiled dig at Sanders during the debate, arguing that voters are worried about gambling on a revolution.
Democrats want to beat Donald Trump. But they are worried. They are worried about gambling on a narrow vision that doesn't address the fears of millions of Americans across this country who see real problems and want real change. They are worried about gambling on a revolution that won't bring along a majority of this country, Warren said.
She went after her other competitors, as well, attempting to prove to voters that she could take on Trump on the debate stage.
Amy, I looked online at your plan, it's 2 paragraphs. Families are suffering. And they need a plan, Warren said, criticizing Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar's health care plan.
Her campaign touted her post-performance fundraising numbers, saying she'd raised $5 million in less than 24 hours after the debate.
She has continued to play the long game on the trail after lackluster performances in Iowa and New Hampshire, calling on the fact that 98% of the delegates needed to nab the nomination this summer have yet to be allocated. Despite that, she'll need a strong showing in Nevada to prove that her campaign belongs in the top tier.
Nevada is the first diverse state to weigh in on choosing a nominee. Sanders has enjoyed fairly strong support from communities of color, although former Vice President Joe Biden is typically seen as the front-runner when it comes to such support across the nation.
A January Washington Post Ipsos poll showed that although Biden leads his rivals by more than 2-1 overall among Black Americans, he trails Senator Bernie Sanders 42% to 30% among Black Democrats ages 18 to 34.
Biden's support among black voters has also declined, dropping from 51% last month to 32% now, according to the ABC News Washington Post poll released on February 19. A poll released this week by NBC News and The Wall Street Journal shows Biden and Sanders with roughly equal support among African American voters.
According to U.S. Census data, 29% of Nevada's population is Hispanic or Latino, and 10% is Black or African American.
In addition to those diverse voters, 14% of the state's workforce is unionized, teeing up what could be an interesting showdown among those who've been courting the union vote.
That faction of the party has come into question in recent weeks as Sanders has undergone a rocky back and forth with the powerful Las Vegas area Culinary Workers Union, which distributed flyers to its members criticizing Medicare for All, after they spent years picketing for the private insurance that protects the union's 60,000 members.
Biden got a boost on Thursday, netting an endorsement from Latino Victory Fund, his first from a national Latino organization. He's spent his time on the trail touting his diverse support and arguing that without that backing, it would be impossible to beat Trump.
I've been saying from the beginning, I think the most critical thing that has to happen is we have to elect someone in fact who can run in the purple states, win Pennsylvania, win in Florida, in places we haven't won before, Biden said Monday.
About 75,000 Democrats participated in early voting, the party said.
By the close of the early voting period, 2020's turnout in the Silver State had already reached nearly 90% of 2016's total caucus turnout of roughly 84,000.
On top of that, those votes already had been cast by the time the candidates took the debate stage Wednesday night.
Turnout could monumentally surpass that of 2016, but it's possible that many Nevadans had cast their ballot before Warren's strong debate performance or Buttigieg and Klobuchar's on-stage clash.
Caucus sites are scheduled to open at noon local time.